Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, kings and queens of the land. Good morning. Good morning to the liberated zones in Africa. Good morning to Burkina Faso under the leadership of President Ibrahim Traore. Good morning. Good morning to Mali under the leadership of President Assim Goita. Good morning. Good morning to Niger under the leadership of President Abdurrah Haman Tian. Good morning. Good morning to the liberated zone in South Africa, KZN. Good morning. Queen Cynthia Malopi wants to insist that I should actually call Mpumalanga another liberated zone in South Africa. Mpumalanga is not yet qualified according to the criteria on how we select Queen Cynthia. We wish Mpumalanga was as well qualified to be called the liberated zone in South Africa. But KZN does qualify to be called the liberated zone in South Africa. It's under the leadership of the MK party, under the leadership of President Zuma, who is really giving the white system the real runaround, which they have never expected that they would actually have with President Zuma. They actually underestimated. They thought it was going to be an easy job. They would just take the man to prison and that's it. They will be done with him. They had another thing coming. They were not aware that President Zuma is got 1,000 lives in himself. In his body, he's got 1,000 lives. If you kill this one, another rise. If you kill this one, another rise. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mnguni Mkonto. This is the Royal Opinion. Today we're talking about um, the GNU preferred candidate of the ANC presidency in 2027, Mr. Ronald Lamola. Let me say Ronald Lamola, a pretty young man, who comes from Bushbuck Ridge, born in 1985. Ronald Lamola was the leader of the SRC in the University of Venda, was once the president of the SRC in the University of Venda, and became the deputy president of the ANC Youth League for about a year, less than a year, in 2011 to 2012, when the ANC Youth League was disbanded. The ANC Youth League, which took over in 2011, which President of the EFF, the CIC, Julius Malema, had won the second term to become the Youth League president for the second time. That Youth League was Ronald Lamola was part of that Youth League, which was actually the last Youth League which was properly, I would say, properly elected. Ronald Lamola was adopted into the Youth League structure to become Julius Malema's deputy president. in order for them to start the anti-Zuma campaign. Uh, Floyd Shibambu was sidelined in that conference to be where was put aside instead of in his place this Ronald Lamola, was preferred deputy president instead of Floyd Shivambu. And the reason for that was Ronald Lamola was getting prepared to go on an anti-Zuma campaign together with his president, Julius Malema. So immediately they were elected. We all remember in 2012, they went on to say Khalima Motlanthe should be elected as the president of the ANC. Uh, Julius Malema wanted the second term in the ANC Youth League, but he did not want President Zuma to get the second term as the president of the ANC. He wanted President Zuma to be removed and be replaced by Khalima Motlanthe, their preferred candidate. We all know the fate of the ANC Youth League because President Zuma knew exactly who they were representing. At the end of the day, they were dismantled in the ANC. They went to start their organization, and I suspect people like Dalimpofu, Advocate Dalimpofu, have been sleepers in the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters. I think people like Advocate Dalimpofu were sent into the EFF when he talks about infiltration. I think they were sent into the EFF by President Zuma in order to for him to and for the ANC to at least keep some control in the EFF. So now the Ronald Lamola, at the end of the day, Julius Malema was expelled from the ANC. Ronald Lamola was also suspended for some period, but he was told to wait in the ANC. At some stage, he was protesting alone at Lutule House, saying that President Zuma should go. We saw after the removal of President Zuma, Ronald Lamola was rewarded with a position as the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, rewarded by President Ramaphosa and the system. Ronald Lamola is being prepared because he's the only one whom the GNU and President Ramaphosa can actually rely to save themselves from the disaster which they are going to face, because at the end of the day, this is unavoidable. Uh, the white people are preparing Ronald Lamola to take over the ANC. They have been preparing him. They have gave him some master's degree because you think these people, they go and learn and become so educated, and no, when you are their agent, they prepare you so that uh, you have the required status in the community or in the community or in the country, so that you are actually respected. They are targeting they are targeting lawyers who can sell out, and in a lot of anybody who's got good qualification that can sell out. So Ronald Lamola has sold out to the white system, to the American system. Uh, a young boy coming from Bushbuck Ridge selling out to the Americans. Uh, uh, and British Queen, they are preparing him to basically contest Paul Mashatile. That's what they hope for, because they think Paul Mashatile is going to take over the GNU, is going to take over the leadership of the ANC in 2027, but he's not their preferred candidate. Paul Mashatile, if he takes over, then the GNU, it's over with the GNU, and then black people will achieve their liberation, and that's not what they want to achieve. So Ronald Lamola is now being prepared underground. That's why he's been given the position of the Minister of Correctional Services, now given the position of Minister of International Relations. Both positions are very powerful positions. It will give him now at the moment is the one who is handling the spies of South Africa, the South African spies. That will give him the experience on how to handle uh, state information and how to deal with international uh, relations. They are basically teaching him how to deal with the Americans and the Europeans. They are orientating him into becoming the new Ramaphosa in South Africa. What they are hoping for, I'll first talk about what they are hoping for, what they hope to achieve. What they are hoping for is that in 2027, when the ANC goes to its conference, uh, Paul Mashatile will be contested fiercely, because they are going to provide money to Ronald Lamola, just like they provided money to President Ramaphosa to take over the ANC. Now, the only child they have is Ronald Lamola. They don't trust Fikile Mbalula because of his academic records. Yeah, he's not going to get the proper approval from the system because he's not well educated. And Paul Mashatile is out of question because he's seen as somebody who is pro Zuma in the ANC. So they are afraid that when he takes over, he's going to take the ANC back to President Zuma. So the only person that they have and their only hope whom they are preparing and they are going to unleash at the perfect time, it's Ronald Lamola. Ronald Lamola, their hope is he is going to contest Paul Mashatile in 2027. But the dynamic that they are facing, because now when we talk about politics, we talk across political parties. It's no more the same. Politics in South Africa are dynamic. It's no more the same. So President Zuma is fighting to retain his membership in the ANC. President Zuma said he's going to go to the members on the ground to raise his disagreement with the executive of the ANC. If the members of the ANC who will go to the conference agrees with President Zuma's membership in the ANC will be restored. And when the membership of President Zuma is restored in the ANC. President Zuma will contest the ANC presidency in 2027. Ronald Lamola is being prepared to contest President Zuma in 2027. But they are hoping that Ronald Lamola should contest Paul Mashatile and President Zuma would be out of the picture. They are hoping that they can eliminate somehow in one way or another President Zuma. On the other hand, Julius Malema as well is part of the people who wishes to become the deputy president of the ANC under Paul Mashatile. When the ANC, when Paul Mashatile, when the ANC goes to conference in 2027, uh, Julius Malema would like to merge the ANC, the EFF and the ANC because there would be nothing left for the EFF. Mass movement of the ground is happening in the EFF. Mass uh, migration of voters to the MK party is happening in the EFF. It's not only in the EFF; it's in all political parties. It's happening too in favor of the MK party. So there will be nothing left for Julius Malema. So he will, if he wants, he still has the ambition to become South Africa's president. He will be contesting for deputy president of the ANC under Paul Mashatile. But he's not gonna contest, in my opinion. He's going to merge with the ANC of Paul Mashatile after the the conference. That's what he's hoping for. And Paul Mashatile, Secretary General of the ANC, is going to be Panyazali Sofi. Panyazali Sofi will be contesting, I suppose, for the position of the Secretary General of the ANC in 2023, which the GNU does not want. If Paul Mashatile wins or get his way in the ANC, then his secretary general or his deputy is going to be Panyaza Lusofi. But it's not what the GNU wants. The GNU wants to, they are hoping that Ronald Lamola is going to uh, go and contest Paul Mashatile and win. Or they would have been able to remove Paul Mashatile by then because they've been trying to eliminate him. They've been trying to kill him first. He was poisoned before. He spoke that he was not feeling well and he suspected poisoning. The last time when he got sick and fainted on stage, he suspected food poisoning because they want to eliminate him before 2027. They are hoping that by then Paul Mashatile will be gone and they will be able to unleash their candidate, who is Ronald Lamola, as a thoroughly uh, orientated, British and American orientated uh, black man who comes from Bushbuck Ridge. He represent the American agenda in Africa and represent the European agenda in Africa, the suffering of black people in Africa. That's what he goes for, only just for him to uh, line up his pocket. So the GNU are hoping that President Zuma and Paul Mashatile will be gone by 2027. Somehow they would have disappeared. But the President Zuma will be contesting for the position of President of the ANC in 2027. Uh, Paul Mashatile will contest for the Deputy President of the ANC under President Zuma. Uh, Panyaza Lesofi will contest for the position of the ANC in 2027 as the General Secretary of the ANC. The only person who is getting prepared by the GNU to contest for presidential position is Ronald Lamola. Uh, I want to share a video by where President Julius Malema is actually has already drawn the battle line. He's already drawn the battle line against President Zuma because he works for the agenda as well. He has been instructed by the agenda, the people who control the agenda, to provide the propaganda material to discredit President Zuma once again, to start afresh and to discredit President Zuma once again like they did before. Previously, they were able to fool a lot of people. Are they going to be able to fool a lot of people even after so much information was revealed? President Zuma went to the State Capture Commission, or anybody else who went to the State Capture Commission, nobody could accuse President Zuma of any wrongdoing. Malema continues to maintain without any evidence that President Zuma is very corrupt, that he was not misled, providing propaganda material for the news channel and the SABC to program our people, to program black people in South Africa, that President Zuma is just generally corrupt. But for what reason? Which corruption did he do? Nobody knows even today. Not even a cent was able to be proven that President Zuma has taken from the state for himself. Not even a cent was proven. Let me share this video.
Now, that no old man with no track record of doing good to black people can claim that he can unite black people. Only the EFF has demonstrated that it has got capacity to unite black people. Only the EFF has got a track record of 11 years of unbroken struggle, fighting for the interest of the black people in South Africa.
Only the EFF has got 11 years of unbroken struggle of fighting for black people. No, the ANC has got 100 years of unbroken struggle against the against the white system. That's a much better record than what you are saying about the EFF. The EFF is a very small organization with respect to that. But what good does it do? What is the sense in that argument? Why would you argue that What do you get out of that argument? Good morning, Mr. Nkosana Fulani. Very, very good morning. Good morning to the royal family. Thank you very much for joining. Everybody else uh, can follow the example and just give us your register as well. Tell us, send your good mornings as well. This is a family. This is the royal family. This is the royal opinion. All the people who follow this channel are called the royals. Thank you very much. Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. So, this is being stuck in the intellectual level. It's getting stuck in the intellectual level, arguing things that may be factual, but there's no progress. They will not take you anywhere. That's where they start. That's where the most educated get stuck, because they have got philosophical arguments, which does not take anybody anywhere. Like arguing that the ANC has got 100 years of what unbroken struggle against apartheid. But today we want the expropriation of land without compensation. We don't want the history of the ANC or the history of the EFF. We want the expropriation of land without compensation. So if you tell us about the history of the EFF, it's totally material, and it does not give any progress to the issue on the table.
Africa. No organization, older or young, can claim the achievements that the EFF has made in 11 years, because this EFF, from its inception, it has never been ashamed to be associated.
But this is not true in terms of what, because the MK party is the smallest party in the world which has ever went to election and got 14% in their first contest. Yes.
With black people and Africans in particular. Fighters, show me any organization that brought together in the 11 years, in the past 11 years, that brought together almost 120,000 black people under one roof, speaking one language, determining their own destination together. No any other organization has ever done that except the EFF.
120,000 people attending at the FNB stadium for the ANC, for the EFF conference, showing up for the EFF conference. It's not an achievement. It does not mean anything. You went into the election with that achievement. You did not manage to get more votes than the DA. You failed to get more votes than the MK party, while you are proudly saying you had 120,000 in one roof. That's not a problem. To do that, you only need white people to give you the buses and the taxis to take the homeless people in Joburg who are looking forward to get a new t-shirt and take them to the stadium to have at least a meal in that particular day, because people are very hungry. So you only need a bus to get 120. You already have half of the population in the homeless people in Joburg. Half of your population that you need in Joburg, you already have them on the streets as nyaopes. So you only have to get a white man who's going to buy them t-shirts, get a white man who's going to buy them food, and make them full, make the stadium full. It has got nothing to do with your ability or your politics. It totally, it's a totally different story. It's about the resources that has been sponsored to you by the white people. It's not about your ability to attract people. The environment has been created for you to be able to fill the stadium by making sure that black people are vulnerable. They are looking for the t-shirts. The Nyaupes who have never bought a new t-shirt since the beginning of the year, looking forward to getting a new t-shirt. They will obviously want to go to the stadium when they are provided with the transport. Uh, so it's not something that you should actually be proud as an achievement. Even if you think it's an achievement, what progress does it give to the issue of the land? The CIC have never been arrested for taking land forcefully. He was arrested for playing with guns in a conference like children, playing with guns like children in a conference. He was arrested for that. He was arrested for beating up police like a child, like a school child who is out of control, beating up a police guy in a funeral, trying to in Winnie Mandela's funeral, which has got nothing to do with the struggle of black people. The person who is arrested with issues that has got to do with struggle of black people is President Zuma, who has been arrested for his stand on black people. So let me continue and share this.
What nonsensical unity are they talking about? What unity of Africans are you talking about when you have had almost 82 years to unite Africans? No organization in South Africa, in Africa, and in the diaspora can claim to unite Africans, because it is only EFF that can be found in Zimbabwe.
Uh, let's say President Zuma has got 500 years, and in the past 500 years, he has never united black people. But he's now calling for the unity of black people. Why refuse if you also look for the same thing? If you want to achieve the same thing, why do you say you have never called for the unity of black people in the last 100 years? Yes, he has never called for the unity of black people in the 500 years, but he is calling for unity of black people now in the year in the 500 year, in the 500th year. He's calling for the unity of black people. Why do you refuse? What other solution do you have to unite black people? The EFF has failed in the past 11 years to unite black people. It's struggling to unite itself now. How can the EFF unite anybody in South Africa while it's struggling to even unite itself in South Africa? Langa Kaba saying, we are royalty indeed. These smallanyana parties who claim to fight for our liberation must close shop and join MK, and then we will believe that they are fighting uh, for our. Sorry about it. We will believe that they are fighting for our cause. Indeed, if you are, if you want to fight for the cause of black people, of course the MK party is vulnerable against infiltration, because this is the instrument which will liberate the whole of the British colony. The whole of the rest of the British colony is going to be liberated through the MK party. So the white system is terrified, and President Zuma is well aware of the infiltration into the MK party. Uh, they will try and send other people to come and join the party just for the sake of diverting from the will of President Zuma and the will of black people. We will only trust them, indeed, if they come and join the MK party, but we will quickly spot them when they start their sell-out tendencies. It will be easier for us to spot them when they start their sell-out tendencies, because we know them. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. Click the like button and subscribe. Sorry, let me. Sorry about that. That was quite important. So I had to take that one. So we will only trust them when they come to. So there. Why am I talking about the president of the EFF and talk about Ronald Lamola? Ronald Lamola and president of the EFF were set up by the white system as the Youth League deputy president and the Youth League president in 2011 in order to remove President Zuma, to disallow President Zuma to stand for his second term in the ANC. That was the purpose of the Youth League. The Julius Malema even said that we actually agreed with Zuma that he was gonna serve one term. Why didn't he serve one term when he was in the Youth League? Why is he not serving one term in the EFF now? Because he wanted President Zuma to only serve one term and then be gone in the ANC. He says President Zuma did not call for the unity of. He failed to unite black people in the past 82 years. Let's say that is a fact. Let's say you are factual in that in the past 82 years, black people have never united. But now President Zuma, in his 82 year, whether he's 90 years or whether he's 100 years at the moment, he's calling for the unity of black people. If you are genuine, why not go and join him? Because it's the only vehicle which is now available for black people in order to liberate themselves from slavery, from the colonial British, and from the imperial America, from the climate change mafias. who are going to take over this country, the climate change mafias. They are going to take over if ever President Zuma is not winning, because Ramaphosa has been given the presidency of the G20 countries, which is the uh, selling out agenda. uh, Ronald Lamola is being prepared to take over the presidency of the ANC. Of course, Ronald Lamola will not be able to defeat President Zuma, because President Zuma, I normally say, is like a rock which has been let loose from the top of mountain, which cannot be stopped in between the mountain and the valley. It has to reach the valley, the valley, for the rock to stop. Other than that, it will not stop. So Ronald Lamola is whether they can give him a professorship like they did to Professor Madonsela, who was given professorship without even doing honorary degree and without even doing doctorate degree, became a professor, so that she retain a particular stature in society, so that when she talks, people can listen. So even Ronald Lamola, that's how they decorate these slave traders. I call them slave traders. The house Negroes. President Traore calls them the house Igros. Let me call them Igros, because if I call them exactly, they my video get the house Igros by President Ibrahim Traore. Ronald Lamula is a house Igro who is being prepared to take over the ANC, because they have no hope, they have nobody else to assign to the position. Fikile Mbalula has failed decimal. Even Ramaphosa himself has failed. Uh, Thabo Mbeki does not even have the iota of what is required to compete with President Zuma. President Zuma will launch a hostile takeover of the ANC from Ramaphosa, because what he's going to do is going to raise from the floor in the conference of the ANC. People will rise from the floor and object to the expulsion of President Zuma from the ANC. And the conference will just agree to restore President Zuma's membership of the ANC. And when it's restored, President Zuma will contest to become the president of the ANC. I wonder if there's anyone who is going to stand against President Zuma, because this Ronald Lamola will not be able to do any impact, even if he's decorated by then, even if he's given the status of Professor Lamola by then, and also given all this experience of international relations that they want to give him to become a spy and all of those things, he's not going to be able to contest the lion uh, of Nkandla, President Jacob Gedleyihlekisa Zuma. Click the like button and subscribe. My name is Mngoni Mkondo. This is the Royal Opinion. Some of our achievements in the Royal Opinion, we have now achieved 15,000 watch hours on YouTube. When I check 15,000 watch hours, is equivalent to um, 625 days of non-stop watching if one person has to reach the number of hours that we've actually done on YouTube. Thank you very much for this achievement. It goes to the people who watch the royal opinion, who are the royals. This type of analysis is not available on SABC because those are propaganda media houses. This type of analysis is not available on ENCN, where you have the people who call themselves political analysts while they're actually sold out characters of the public relations officers of the politicians, sold out characters pretending to know and understand politics while it's because they are paid. They are getting paid sway public opinion in a particular manner. The royal opinion is authentic, is not paid to sway public opinion in a particular direction. The opinion that we express here does not belong to any other organization besides ourselves, and is not paid for. Most of the time, YouTube does not even want to monetize the videos that we produce here because it has got a lot of, many of them uh, can't even be watched by people outside South Africa sometimes. They're shadow banned. Some can be watched but cannot make money out of them. Of course, if I make videos which does not impact on the system, uh, they do pay money, but that's not what I want to achieve. What I want to achieve is to tell the truth and the truth only, irrespective of its consequences. The truth only I shall tell. Give us your opinion. Your opinion, you can tell us what you think about whether you think the what I'm saying about President Zuma contesting the ANC conference, because we can actually project the future. President Zuma contesting as the president of the ANC, Paul Mashatile contesting as the deputy president of the ANC, Lusufi contesting as the general secretary of the ANC. All of this, when President Zuma takes over and change the policies of the ANC to become the policies of the MK, he's going to appoint his own general secretary, he's going to appoint his own uh, people who are going to go to government. It's going to be a hostile takeover from the GNU. When President Zuma said, I aim to save the ANC, people should believe him. He's going to save the ANC. He's going to stage a political drama which has never been seen anywhere in the world with his intellectual capacity and his strategies, tested strategies which does not fail. President Zuma will launch a hostile takeover of the ANC. He's already dealing, he's already launched a hostile takeover of the EFF. Those who are in the leadership may remain because, there's still municipal positions, there's still parliamentary positions. There are still people who were wishing that when this one comes out, this time around, I'm getting in. There are those people who are just waiting because people are just hungry. But the ground has moved. The ground is out. You may possess these ones that are affected immediately, that are affect, their pockets will be affected immediately. They will be able to come to the conference of the EFF, but that will not translate into votes in 2027 or in 2026 local government elections. It will never translate into vote. The EFF will not be able to get more than 4% in the coming elections. The MK party is going to take over in almost all the municipalities in South Africa. The propaganda, whether they like it or not, they will only hold on to the totally brainwashed middle class uh, community, because those are the ones who are affected but cannot really see the truth. They are still protecting the system. They are the children of the system, blind children of the system. Is the middle class of South Africa. Give us your opinion. Tell us what you think about the subject that we are discussing. Give us your prediction who's going to stand in the 2027 ANC conference. Who will be the first people to have analyzed? If we get it right, then we would have gotten it right 3 years prior. That would show how advanced we are in terms of our thinking or our projection or our looking ahead. Let me finish this. Let me finish sharing this.
In Mozambique, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Liberia, in the whole of African continent. Because the true unity of African people lies with the unity of the EFF. The unity of Africa depends on the unity of the EFF. The liberation of black people in South Africa depends on the unity of the EFF. Defend the unity of the EFF is the only one that can unify the whole of black nation all over South Africa, all over Africa, and in the diaspora. I thank you.
The EFF is the only which can unite. It had the potential. The EFF had the potential to unite black people in South Africa and also in Africa. It lacked their wisdom and the capacity to carry black people because you need to be authentic. You need to be real. You don't have to make black people feel like they are represented. You really have to represent black people, like President Zuma. President Zuma does represent black people. He's not making black people feel like they are represented like what Malema does. He's only ensuring that black people does not revolt against the wise system because black people feel they are represented, and they feel that one day uh, uh, our leader is going to command that we take over, and one day it will happen that we take over. So you have to maintain organizational discipline, but that will not be sustained. It cannot be sustained. That's why the MK party came and took over the politics of South Africa and get more votes than the EFF. While the EFF has got 11 years, the MK party is going to celebrate 1 year old uh, in about 3 weeks' time. The MK party is not even 1 year old, but it has already overtaken the EFF in all dimensions. So the MK party has got better capacity to unite black people in South Africa, in Africa, and in the diaspora. I thank you very much for joining the live stream. We will end it here.